So a lot is changing in 2020 in Kleinberg. Resale prices are attempting to exceed 2017 highs. In this video, I'm going to take a look at resale prices in 3 types of inventory and compare them to 2019 prices. Then I'm going to look how listings are shifting to an offer-based system, which means you have to bring your offer at the same time as everybody and you have to compete for the house. Very annoying. And then lastly, I'm going to comment on pre-construction because I know a lot of you are looking to purchase straight from the builder. For those of you who haven't seen my videos before, when I talk about Kleinberg, I mean 3 subdivisions. 2 of them at Highway 27 in Major Mackenzie. So one of them's Impressions. It's going to be called New Kleinberg soon. And the other one is at Highway 27 in Kirby Road. That is by Mattamy Homes and it is called Kleinberg Summit. My name's Andre. I'm a Toronto real estate agent who specializes and lives in Kleinberg. And if you need help or if you want to have a quick chat, please do reach out. So let's take a look at 2019 prices. Towns and semis, low 800s, 820, 830, 840, depending on where exactly in the subdivision, depending on the finishes. Detached 30-foot lots. So these are smaller detached homes, roughly low 900s, 930, 940, maybe 950-ish or so. It's not everybody's forever home, but it is the cheapest way to get into a detached house in Kleinberg. Now keep in mind, this is a single car garage. That is the biggest difference here that sways people. You have to shift around cars. Super annoying, especially if your kids are gonna get cars or in the winter or on garbage day. It's something definitely to be aware of. Next is the gold standard, the double car lot, 38-foot to 43-foot lot, roughly 2,700 square feet to about 3,100 square feet. It's the most popular type of home in Kleinberg because it is big enough to be people's forever home until they decide to downsize. Now, I want to say prices were 1.2 million, but you know what? They were sliding down. They were about 1.15, so I'm just going to keep it in that range. So what about 2020? How have things shifted? Start with towns and semis. Last 2 comparables for towns, 875 and 880. So you're in the high 800s now, and they're probably going to be pushing 900 shortly. Let's take a look at the listings. Let's zoom out here. Now you see it says 799. So you're probably thinking, Andre, I thought you said it was high 800s. This is the second topic we're going to be talking about. See how it says 799 here, 850. They are holding back offers. If you're just looking at realtor.ca, you can't see the comments. You're just thinking, hey, maybe I can get this for 800. That is not the case. Let's go into one of them and I'll show you what I mean. I'm not going to dwell too much on it because I'm going to be going into it in detail. But ultimately here you have its brokerage remarks and it says offers to be reviewed at a later date. So here we have it over here. So the price that you're seeing online is not the price that you can get it at. And so you remember in 2017, 2016, you'd always see in the media, oh, it went for X amount over asking. That's just kind of a trick that people do. They are looking for more. I'm gonna go into a full example right after the pricing. That was towns. Let's get into semis. Semis have pierced that $900,000 mark. Last 2 comparables, I believe, were 915, 910. So I'm going to pin it at there, right above that $900 mark. We only have one right now listed, 925. And again, this is actually what you can get it for. If you go down, there is not that comment section down here in the brokerage remarks. But if we go to address history here at the top, you'll see that they tried to get this. They listed at $899 and were holding offers. That's kind of ballsy because you're right around that $900 mark. People would be paying, let's say, $910, $905 if they're willing to put a little bit more than ask. That's where you would end up at. So these guys, I guess they were trying to get $925, $930. They did not get it. You see here, last status terminated. And then what happens is you delete the listing, you put it back at what you're looking for, and then from there, people who can offer it on it. And so this is the current price. And you can usually chop off about 5, 10, 15,000 off that price. It'll land you at around $910,000, $915,000. So that is towns and semis. Let's look at single car detached. These are trying to push 1.1 million. They're not quite getting there. Last two comparables were, I believe, $1,070,000 and $1,060,000. So I'm going to pin it at around $1,050,000. They aren't flying off the shelves. Let's take a look here. So anything that's kind of at that $1 million mark. So this will be a small detached. This will be a small detached. This will be a small detached. And once again, the one going for $1 million, if we take a look at the listing, it would show us they are holding back offers. You cannot get it for $1 million. So I'm going to pin that at around $1,050,000 just because I've only seen one or two sell and they aren't flying off the shelves. Now for the double car garage, the 38 to 40 foot lot. And this one's interesting because we had a big lack of inventory up until last week. I think there were pretty much no listings on the market, maybe one, but I was really curious to see what they come out at. And it looks like people are swinging for the fences. I'm going to pin it at 1.35. Let's take a look here. People are trying to get 1.4 for these types of homes. Again, you're going to see 1.3 here, 1.3. They are holding back offers. They want a little bit more than that. Who knows how much now because there are so many listings. And these guys are really pushing it at that $1.4 million mark. So I am going to pin it at 1.35. It's unfortunate because a lot of people were looking at that 1.2 mark and they thought that was too expensive just a while ago when the market wasn't too hot. And now all of a sudden, bang, 1.4 million, just under there. So quite expensive this time around this year. So now let's talk about that offer night that I was talking to you about earlier. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's ultimately what I explained before. People come in they list at a lower price. So the prices you see on realtor.ca will look very good if you've kind of been looking in the area and all of a sudden, hey, this house is much cheaper, but it looks really good inside. Why are they selling it for a lot cheaper? So this is what happens. They list it at let's say $1 million. The last comparable was $1,070,000. You cannot just submit an offer on this. You have to come at a certain date, present your offer with a bunch of other people. They're all going to look at them at the same time. The problem with this is people get anxious. They want to get the house, so they compete against each other, and the price goes up and up and up and up. So the day of offers, you're going to say have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offers. You may be one of these offers. And so this is how it usually goes. The first guy thinks, oh, you know what? You're not going to get more money from me. I'm going to offer $980. I want to get a deal. This person doesn't know how it really works out there. The real estate agent should not be allowing them to put this offer in. But I'll show you why it helps the listing agent later on. These two guys will say, hey, I will pay you your asking price. I think that's reasonable. Maybe the other guy will throw in 10,000 more. They're not really in the race, but they think asking is what you can get it for. This guy will come in at something reasonable, let's say $1,050,000. And this guy knows maybe he's lost a few bidding wars. He comes in at $1,075,000. And here's what happens. So you only really have two guys that are in the ballpark, but the agent will come back to everybody and they'll say, hey guys, you're all really close. Do you want one last chance to up your price? And so even though these guys are completely out of the picture unless they throw a Hail Mary and come back to win this, it's only these two that are competing for the final prize. And usually it's the guy in front that ultimately wins it because there's usually some history there. They've lost bidding wars before. They really want the house. They don't care. This time they don't care if $5, $10, $15,000 extra is what takes to win this house. It won't matter in the long run. So everybody submits new offers, not just these two guys. Everybody submits new offers. Usually this guy comes in maybe at $1,060,000. And then this guy will even up it to, let's say, $1,085,000, and he'll win it. It's very nerve-wracking, but in a hot market, this is what pushes the price up and up and up. So if the last comparable was $1,070,000, now the next property is going to see $1,085,000, and then the same thing is going to go happen again. Maybe they'll list it for $1,030,000, and then they'll expect to get 1.1 for it, and so on and so forth. That's what happens in a hot market. I hate dealing with it as a real estate agent. Buyers hate dealing with it because they don't know where it ends. And this is a big investment, and they're basically playing a guessing game. Super annoying. I hate it. Everybody hates it. You can argue that the listing agent has to, act in the best interest of the seller. Maybe this is the best way to get the highest price, but it gets on people's nerves after a while. And when the market tanks and you try to attempt something like this, it backfires. Now, lastly, I want to comment on pre-construction. Now, I don't hate pre-construction. I bought pre-construction here in Kleinberg back in 2015. This was right before one of the booms, and it was great because I got to go in and just peruse all the listings. I got to choose my lot. I could ask any question I wanted. It was wonderful. But sometimes in hot markets, I just hate the process. You don't get any information. It's a guessing game. All you get is, please register with us. Please register with us. Please register with us. It is so annoying. You never get any information till maybe the week of or a few days before. So they'll maybe trickle some information out. At least sometimes they give you the floor plans and the site plan. I would highly recommend going on the site plan and taking a look at lots that you might be interested in. Again, they're only going to release a very small portion of that site plan, so you're not even going to know what you can pick. You're going to have a few minutes when you're there, especially if there's a lineup. But go watch my other video where I teach you exactly what makes a good lot, which lots to completely avoid, and which lots to buy. The only two other things you can do is look at the floor plans. But again, you don't know if you can get that model on that specific lot, and you don't know if you can get that specific elevation. So again, it's a guessing game. And lastly, take a look at the agreement of purchase and sale. You can get it reviewed by a lawyer if you want. Most people don't. That's not advice, by the way, in case you do that. The problem is you can only usually put a cap on some of the closing costs, like the development charge. Otherwise, it is take it or leave it. We will sell it to the other 100 people in line. The deal is firm once you sign off, and they've even gone so far as to say on the website, I can't believe this, it says, you better have the money in your checking account because we are going to deposit it within about 1 or 2 hours of signing the deal. Absolutely crazy. I do not enjoy the process, but again, every house at some point was a pre-construction house. I don't hate pre-construction. I hate the way the builders give out the information and the process of it. Condos are another thing. That's sleazy sometimes. You have to try to get the bottom. You get to be the VIP, and then you play hot potato until you get to assign it to somebody else. It's better with detached homes, but still very hard to get information. So that's it for this one. If you have any questions, you want to chat, text, call, email, live chat with me on my website. Check out my other videos on YouTube, and I hope to talk to you shortly.